Hello campers and welcome back to this Google Sheets choice board. This is my second and last one for this choice board, and we are talking about the sorting that, another take on Hogwarts, of course, with the sorting hat. But I'm going to show you we can't have a Google Sheet without a little bit of sorting action happening here. So if you click on the resources link that was below the link to this video, you can make your own copy of this, and you may have already made your own copy if you also watched my spreadsheet vocabulary video. But I want you to play around with this. We made this just for a little playground, if you will, or a sandbox. If you are unfamiliar with sheets where you can just kind of poke around and see what you want to do with it. But it's a typical gradebook type setup. But you'll see I have this first tab here. It says sorting ceremony. And what I have is kind of some raw data here of the students' names that are all conjoined together, as well as their selected houses. And this is just a drop down that I added in that has all four houses. You can edit this and change them all if you needed to add anything, but there's only four houses, so I don't know why you would do that. All right. But the tricky part that I find a lot of times is people will have raw data come in that has the name together. And you're like, well, actually, I need their names separated so that I can sort them by last name. Unless your data comes in and it's always last name, comma first, which is convenient. But if you do get it this way, you're like, I'm kind of at a loss here. Obviously, you could sit and type the last name into column B for each one and then delete last name in column A, so it's just their first name, but who has time for all of that? So to split those, you can do it very quickly. You're just going to hit column A, and you're going to go to Format, not Format, Data. There we go. And you're going to scroll to the bottom where it says Split Text to Columns. And when you do that, it's going to pop out with this little separator box, and it's asking you, where do I separate it based on what text is in there? And we're going to select space, right? So basically the space between the two words, that's the disconnect that you can move what's after the space to another column. So once I do that, I now have first name in column A and last name in column B, which is a beautiful thing. And once I have that, now I can sort the column and everything that comes with it from A to Z, which it currently is, or Z to A. So now we have Zabini at the top, or we can move it right back to alphabetical order. Now, because this is the sorting ceremony and we've gone through and determined what houses these students are going into, but if we wanted to now see the new roster for each of these houses, let's say I was one of the sponsoring professors for Ravenclaw, I'm not biased at all here, but let's say I just want to look at my new Ravenclaw students coming in. So now I could sort column C here. And because I've got some emojis in here, it's going to throw off the alphabetical order just slightly, but that's okay. It's still sorting the similar houses together. So if I do sort sheet A to Z here, you'll see now I've got all the Slytherin together, Gryffindor, my Ravenclaw, and then the Hufflepuff. All right. So that is how you can do some different sorting within your sheet, as well as splitting names if you needed to see them so that you could sort them. That is a huge time saver. And then if I go into my gradebook as well, I can do the same thing, even with some merged cells and columns up here. I can just go to column D and sort that by house if I needed to. But like we talked about in my previous video, if you wanted to create a filter so that, again, the scenario was I'm only interested in looking at the Ravenclaw students to see how they're doing in this class, I might create a filter view that doesn't impact anybody else's viewing of this data, so that I can just keep an eye on those students and not all the rest. So if you have any shared rosters with other teachers, that's a great way to kind of zero in on just the data you're trying to get in, get an idea about, and then get out of the sheet. All right, so that's something else that you can explore for sure. But have some fun with it and see what else you want to learn within Google Sheets. It's magical. All right, guys. Well, I will see you on the next choice board, our last choice board for YouTube. See you soon.